They are a lovely family group, so within our group we have 4 girls and then 3 boys. With meerkats, it does kind of matter how many boys to girls there are, just because they work in a hierarchy. So with these guys, it tends to be females are a lot more dominant, so the more they are, unfortunately the harder the life is for the males, but they all have some really important roles to play. So you'll notice the ones who kind of get the most food and will be the ones who are most on show tend to be the girls. We do have a dominant female, she's just down here. She's called Flattail, and she gets her name from having very flat tail, although you guys might not be able to tell that, but you can also tell her apart by the tip of her tail there. It's brown compared to the others. You can see kind of have a grey to brown to black sort of ombre tail going on. Now Flattail, she runs the group, and in the wild she would do pretty much the same as what she does here with us. So she's in charge of everyone, she kind of delegates jobs, but most importantly she would be the only breeding female. Now our meerkats, they aren't a breeding group, like I said, they are family, so they are non-breeding. We don't want them to do that. But these guys in the wild, she would pick a male, she would breed with that male, and she would pick basically the one who has the best characteristics and who looks the nicest, really. With meerkats, there's a lot on their features, so their sense of smell, how they look, the shape of them, the weight of them, how long their tail is, everything like that. And those things are really important, and they come into play quite a bit. So meerkats, they use their tails for climbing, and it kind of relates to one of the jobs that they have to do. So with meerkats, they do something that we call sentry duty. You might often hear to it being referred to as lookout duty. It's where they'll sit on their back legs, and they will actually use that tail as a third leg and almost like a tripod to help to prop their legs back up and keep them nice and stable, because they climb very high. They can climb trees, they'll climb up on top of rocks and anything where they can get a really good view. So that is something that is really important to them, and you'll notice they are called centre-tailed meerkats, and that is where they do get their name. You'll notice we have one who's got half of a tail. Now she can do exactly the same as all the others, she's just got a little bit less. The most important part is kind of that thicker bit, which helps to stabilise them a little bit more as well. And she'll often be out on sentry duty, even though she is one of the females. She is unfortunately one of the lower ranking ones, so she will do a lot of that as well, but it doesn't stop her from getting there at feeding time. We try to make sure that when we feed them, they have a little bit of food in ideally 7 different locations for them, so they don't argue over anything. Now meerkats, they are omnivores, so they eat a little bit of everything. And these guys, they come from Africa, so you find them out in sub-Sahara, mostly living in the Kalahari Desert. So it's quite dry, there's not really much growth, it's quite open for them. So these guys are very well adapted to mostly eating insects. So they'll eat things like locusts, crickets, mealworms, any kind of worms that they can find. And we feed them a lot on that diet here at the park. And they will forage throughout the day, which is why whoever's on sentry, they can rotate throughout the day. But meerkats, they live in groups as large as 50, so there is always someone there kind of out and about keeping watch for them. But these guys, they will forage, and they will constantly forage and forage and forage. With our meerkats, that's not possible. We give them a set quota. We need to monitor things like their weight and their health quite a bit. So they have